So the fast aid is a way to apply BodyTalk in emergency situations normally.
Normally,
right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. But I had just come off of BodyTalk a week before. So it was my very first BodyTalk class, and I really didn't know what I was doing at that point. So we learn quickly, but that innate will not take us where we don't know. But I just thought, I wonder what this could do for her hip. And I just did a quick fast aid, and within 10 minutes, she was playing.
That's fantastic. So, and BodyTalk really is a pretty facile system because it really addresses all sorts of different systems in the body, energies as well as active memories, body chemistry, just a wide variety of different modalities are actually within that system. So it makes it really easy, but also broad and deep as far as what you can apply to the animals. So that's exciting that it worked your first time out.
Yes. My first time out on a pet.
And you're a certified BodyTalk practitioner.
I am certified.
Correct?
I got certified in 8 months.
Fantastic. So tell me some of your favorite stories about your animal communication experiences.
Oh, there's so many. I would say one of them happened at our BodyTalk class, the AnimalTalk class that we just took, and it was with you. We were working with the horses at the horse therapy farm, and this big, huge horse that I was working with, Brahm, was a Parisian horse, and I have this huge fear of horses, and he of course was the largest horse on the farm. So, and he said, I want to talk to you. And he came in before I even got there because we did our whole, mindscape thing and imagined them and let them know. And I was getting into the car leaving the center to go out there, and my back started to spasm. And so I don't normally get pain from animals, but this one I did. And I checked in with this guy, and I said, what do you need? I want BodyTalk right now. I said, I'm driving. Can you wait? He said, no, you need to do it now. So I did as much as I could while I was driving. I do not recommend doing that. But fortunately, my mom was in the car with me and could write down the notes. And I tapped him out, and I said, okay, is that enough for now? And he said, yes, but when you get here, please, address it right away. And so I got there, and instantly I knew that this was a horse that I was supposed to talk to. And he was huge, absolutely gigantic. You saw him. And
yes, his back was, I think it was actually higher than your head.
Yes, it was. It was much higher than my head because I'm short. I'm a little over 5 foot, so I'm pretty short. And I was afraid because he was so big that Lucia had explained to us that sometimes when animals release, they don't know that they're reliving some of their active memory. And so I had this fear of him breaking down the stall door and, ram whatever was going to happen there. And so I just talked to him, and I said to him, I'm kind of afraid because you're really big. And he kind of chuckled, and he goes, yeah, I know. But I promised you I won't hurt you. And anytime he had any kind of a release, he actually stepped outside of the stall to the outside arena area to release, and then he would come back in. So,
and those releases, can I just interject here that there are different
absolutely.
forms of releases that animals show, that it could be eating, it could be, letting go is in peeing and such, and different kinds of gestures and movements that they make to show that they're actually responding to the treatment. Is that correct?
Yes.
So that's one way that you know that you're in conversation with them, is that some of these things present during doing a session with them.
Right. So, and that was, it was very telling because not only did he do his, the chomping and the moving around, but he made sure that when he did have to release, he walked outside because he knew that I was afraid. And a lot of times horses, when they know that you're afraid, they'll push your limits. But animals also really like the respect of you being honest with them. And I've found that to be true in all animals, all critters. I've worked with spiders and wasps, and, as long as I'm honest with them and say, you kind of creep me out, or you're really big and you kind of scare me, they respect that, and then they'll back off. So Brahm did that, and then everything that was done in his session, we were done, and I said, well, is there anything you need to tell me? And he said, well, actually. And he went through this whole huge paragraph of stuff that I'm supposed to do and to let go and let things unfold as they need to, and look at everything as opportunity, whether it's, good or bad, and just go with it. And he said I was gifted, and there are different gifts for different people, and nobody is better than the other person, and, just all of that stuff. And what was interesting, as you know, there was a horse next to him named Jazz, and you knew that he wanted to say something to you. And so you would come up to me and ask me to translate. And Brahm wanted you to read what I had written down for myself. And, I'm like, well, but that's my information. He's like, no, you need to share. So I let you read it, and it was very, very powerful. And Jazz backed it up, which was amazing.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience for me because we intersected through the animals. You and I had this intersection of coming to learning more about ourselves, and the animals really put us in that space, and it was really beautiful, the gift that they gave you through the words. I was so impressed that you actually got a full paragraph of words that made sense. It was beautiful, beautiful message. And then I had the opportunity for Jazz to let me know that I can work with birds in the future, that birds are actually a part of my playing field for Animal Talk, which meant a lot to me because I'm very partial to birds in general, and it just confirmed a lot of things for me, and was a beautiful end of that day. And then the crescendo of that day was going in and sharing these sessions that the class had done on all of the horses in the area, in the arenas there. And each time a practitioner would share what their balance had been on the horse, the director of the horse farm actually validated that, yes, indeed, that had something to do with the horse's history or present condition. And she hadn't told us anything before we'd worked on the horses, so it was very powerful to have that experience.
It's a great gift to have. It's to be able to have someone get a message from an animal that's that powerful. It's really not me. It's the animal that is giving that advice. And I thought what was also beautiful was that all of a sudden, as soon as it came in that, you were supposed to work with the birds and to follow your heart, all these birds came into the stable.
One kept hopping down the railing closer to us while we were talking.
Yes, and that was just like, wow, that's really cool. Thanks, guys,
It's just beautiful to know that the world is bigger in terms of this conversation, our world is bigger than we often think.
Another one of my favorites is talking with a spider, because we often exclude those. We often exclude spiders and ants and all the little bugs in our lives that we just would rather get rid of. And I was having a spider issue in my home, and it was right after I'd taken the class. And the instructor had talked about how we can talk to anything. And they had talked to a hissing cockroach in one of their classes. So I thought, okay, if you can talk to a cockroach, you can talk to a spider. And he was walking across the ceiling in our kitchen, and I was so sick of all these spiders in our home. And so I looked at him, I did my grounding process as quickly as I could, and I introduced myself, and I asked for permission to talk to him, and he stopped walking across the ceiling. And I was like, oh, great. It was kind of scary in a way. And he said, well,